Good afternoon, my beautiful herd of mine. Bye. Child, that sound like a distress call. Maybe because I just finished a long day of mothering. I don't know about y'all, but the real leader of this herd over here, I ain't gonna say no names. She be keeping me on my job in this barn. My beautiful child. Nonetheless, I love her so much. Happy Friday, my loves to you. Hopefully you don't cash that check, honey. You don't, whatever you done to make you feel good for your Friday. Went to the package store, got your liquor or whatever it is, your wine. For those of you who don't drink, your water, your communion juice, whatever. Whatever makes you feel good, I hope that you do that or have done that today. Picking up the kids, seeing your little ones, picking them up from daycare, school, whatever it is that makes you feel good. I hope that you've done that today. I hope that today has been a great day for you nonetheless. And if it has not, I hope that it gets better. As well, I pray that it gets better. Let's keep in mind as well those who are going through today. And for some time now, let's send a shout out and prayers and hugs and well wishes to those over in California today. Very tragic to what's going on over there. So let's keep them in our thoughts and prayers. For those of us who have got hit with the snowstorm, let's keep those in prayer as well as those who have not, as well. That goes along with those who have lost over there, but those who don't have as well. I always want to keep that in mind, forefront of our minds as well, because it could be any of us. Yeah. So it's good to always take time to recognize them and to pray. It's sometimes that's all you can give, and that's not an all you can give type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes it's needed more than what you even realize. Okay. I'm a walking testimony to that. Anyway, I just want to take the time out to say thank you so much for all of your love, all of your support in this journey, this healing journey of mine, and this journey of advocacy, of spreading awareness, healing and encouraging others to heal, to deal, mental health, all the good things. I want to thank you. You have no idea what your encouragement and your love and support does for me in my journey and in my attempt and my calling to encourage and be a light to others. You know, because what they say, the supporter needs a supporter. Okay, the encourager needs a encourager. The light, even a person that is of light, needs a light too, for others to be of light, of good courage and a light to us too as well. So I want to thank you for having your pom-poms out for me as well as I attempt to keep mine out for you. Okay. Because the big man has been knocking on my door for some time for this part of my journey. And I kind of been sitting out there with my little robe on, peeking out the curtains and stuff. And he like, "What's up, Tiff? It's your time, baby, when we gonna do this." Okay, so this time I didn't give him the church finger. This time I went and got some clothes on and act like I know better, okay? That being, act like I know better, like go ahead and get on my job, okay, with this book. I hear you, big man, I hear you. And I went and followed through, okay? Because there's a lot of people who need to hear my testimony, but just in general, think about what you've been through. You know, there's some people out here that are called to have the calling to tell their testimony. Okay. Don't take lightly what you go through, because you never know that your testimony could one day be somebody's survival guide. Okay. And I know I've kept that in the forefront of my mind for some time. And I felt like the Lord was just saying, not yet. At the same time, you know, one whole 1 minute. Okay. You still got a lot of life in the go that I need you to put in here. Okay. And, when I knew when it was time, like I said, I got out my robe, put my clothes on, act like I know better, and I met him at the door with arms wide open. Okay. And I'm going to tell you, this has not been easy by any means. It has not been easy for your girl. Writing this book, just alone, it can be, that's why it's very imperative I also encourage healing for those of you, whether your testimony, or living in your purpose, all of that ties into healing as well. It's imperative that you do your work too. What they say, you make sure you put on your oxygen mask before you assist others. Baby, I was doing that in attempt attempting to do that. It had mine on one hand and here and then the other one there, because I was doing it along my way, because I wanted to show, I just wanted to show the process, that it is not going to be pretty. It's a lot of ugly to get to the other side, okay? But it's beautiful, okay, over here, okay? And we're still doing the work to touch on them other ugly parts that need a little tending to. But nonetheless, it's a beautiful, 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 beautiful on the other side. But and this is me extending an oxygen mask again to those who need it. Okay, so I had to make sure before then that I got myself together mentally, because I'm telling you, when you're pouring into and reliving, it's a lot of reliving, a lot of things that are pushed to the back of my mind. Some stuff that just came to mind as I was writing that I didn't that in survival mode, and you push it so far back that you kind of forget about it. But it's not forgotten. It's way back there in the Rolodex. So it has been very trying. But nonetheless, had I not been where I needed to be at in my healing journey, I wouldn't be able to do this, y'all. I'm telling you, like I said, this is my journal. This is basically a journal. It's my memoir. It's based for those who don't understand what a memoir is. It's basically a journal of your life, a particular moment in life, not an autobiography, not your whole life. Because, child, let me tell you something. Even then, I could write about 500 books of these. Okay, this is just zoning in on particular parts of my life that pertain to what it's like to grow up in an abusive household, or to have your first biggest bully, my only really truly biggest bully in life being, unfortunately, my mother, and having an enabling father, and what that comes with growing up in an abusive, narcissistic household, and what all that entails. So that's more owning it in on that. And it's for everybody. It's a everybody read, because for people who don't understand it, God bless you, because it means that you got great parents. You know what I'm saying? You have great, and for that, I am always thankful that you don't have to experience. But for those of us who know, it's for everybody. When I say for everybody, it's for those who are in my circumstance, still going through, have been getting through, but also for those who are not aware, to spread words, to know what it looks like, to know the signs, or just be able to be more empathetic to people who are going through that. Because I'm telling you, when you're talking about it, it can make you look like you're crazy, right? It can make you seem like you're psychotic because of the way that things are played, the mind games. It's a whole lot that goes into this when it comes to this form of abuse. I've endured physical, mental, all of that. But when you talk about the mental, it's more, baby, I don't take blows to the face, you name it, guy. I talk about all of that in here. But the mental, the toll that it does on your mental, and then this dynamic, you can be played to be very crazy, look crazy to the other world. Because even in telling my story out loud, for some time, I felt like I was crazy. Like, people could not fathom, a mother on top of that, what motherhood is supposed to represent, the kisses of the boo-boos, the nurturing. Nobody would believe that. But more so, I'm trying to own in on my community, everybody, but my community especially, because it's so not talked about. It's in other communities as well, but I'm talking about as being an African-American, a daughter on top of that, with a mother, with the dynamics with the mothers. Mother should be seen as a sign of strength, of nurturing, of love, all the warm feeling type of things. But it's just not the case. So when you're talking about that, on top of the unwritten rules that we have in our household, that we're trained, a lot of us are. That's not saying that there are healthy Black households, a lot of them. Okay, but it's the fact that we have a lot of, in the ones that are not so healthy, like mine was, there are unwritten rules in our community, in our household, where you just don't talk about certain stuff, right? The taboo stuff, especially against your mama, against the people who gave you life, right? And just in general, blood is blood, and it don't matter what they do to you. You just don't speak on it. You don't go against the unwritten code. And that's where this is why it's just so important too, because it goes against, is the reason why abuse thrives in our community, in our households, such as mine, because it's not spoken on. You don't dare go against that, and you've been trained so much. It's ingrained in us, and embedded in our DNA. It's hard to do. So a lot of people stay in those lines, so that because the backlash, baby, is real. Okay, I was on the other side of that. I still am to this day. Okay, I'm just strong enough to be able to accept it for what it is and choose me above all, because it can be enough to put people back in that line, and people don't understand why people stay in that dynamic. Baby, to understand, to truly understand is to live it. But this is the other reason why I'm putting it on paper. Okay, I put it in a book for you guys to understand. Like I said, and it just is not, and this is, like I said, this is to be of encouragement. This is to educate, all the things. So it's a memoir, it's my journal, it's a self-help, it's all the things to understand, this dynamic, so that you don't, for those of you who don't understand it, you don't go invalidating people, because the worst thing you could tell anybody, like a woman like me or people that have been like that, it could be, it's guys too, both sexes go through this, is that, but yeah, that's still your mom after hearing about all the stuff, because baby, it'll rock your world. All the stuff is like, it's still your mom, but that's the point. That's the point that I'm trying to own in on, that it doesn't matter who it is, but that's the reason why so much grace is given to that, because of that whole world of what motherhood represents, especially within my community. And I know I'm going to step on some toes. I know that there's a lot of people that aren't ready for change like nobody was in my household. You know what I'm saying? So I got it. I got hell. So I can only imagine what's coming behind this. Okay. But I was on national TV, and let me tell you something. I talk about that too, the hell that I received for that. But sometimes change is not made by, staying in your comfort zone. You got to make some people, you got to be uncomfortable, and you got to be comfortable with making other people uncomfortable to bring about change that's comfortable for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, for those who really want change, think about the Martin Luther Kings. Think about, he didn't get nowhere by staying in a safe zone. Think about the Coretta. She didn't get there. She didn't. Yeah, we love to use it because they're perfect examples. There's so many people in this world. But think about that. If they stayed in their comfort zone, I probably wouldn't even have the luxury and the right to even sit here to talk to you about a book. Okay, yellow and be blackface and talking about book. Think about those things, the movers and shakers in the world. Just think about your mover and shaker in your world that you admire. Baby, you had to make some people uncomfortable. And this is what this is doing. But this ain't, it takes balls. It takes cojones. It takes all the above, to do what you do as a shaker, a mover and a shaker. You're going to ruffle feathers. Okay, baby. But I was made to squabble them up. Okay, look, this little sheep don't mind. But it took a while. But in order to do that, I had to heal. I had to find that part. But sometimes it pushes you out of your comfort zone. You got to be okay with people just not liking you for having the audacity to speak your truth. Okay, it is your truth. But if your truth is going to set a lot of people free, baby, you got to do whatever big man call you to do. And this is what I'm doing. So know that this was not easy. So this is not just excuse my language, but this Blque Sheep keep it real. This isn't just a shit talking book. Okay. This is because we know, come on, let's just keep it real. We're going to have some people that's going to buy the book because they want good gossip. Or matter, you buy it. Okay. You use it for whatever you want. Okay. But you got to be in a strong place mentally, to be able to accept that people are going to talk about it, but in order to do, you got to be able to put it, you got to have a no kind of fucks given mentality when you're proceeding forward. And I'm saying this because there's somebody out here that needs to hear this, that's been called to do something, and but fear is holding them back. Baby, you got to heal, and you got to get with a line of acceptance. Think about what you've been through. I think about what I've been through. Ask me if I give a damn. Okay. Because I don't, because there's so many people out here that's dying, guys. When I say I was on the brink of suicide because of this is not a joke. And I talk about that in this book. It will drive you to the point where you feel like you shouldn't even exist anymore. And I was there at that point, but I thank God for giving me the strength that I had to push through, because I had a purpose. My purpose, alongside looking at my beautiful daughter, but my purpose is to encourage other people to keep fighting, to keep living. Okay. So sometimes you got to have no folks giving kind of attitude to do this kind of work that we doing, to do your calling. Okay. Let them talk. Okay, baby, because there's nothing like living in being authentically yourself. Nobody can tell my story like Tiff. Okay, so if we're going to tell the story, we're going to tell it right. Okay, but this is me putting everything out there. It's not just what my mother and my father, this is about them, but this is not about them, if it makes sense. So let's make that very clear for those of us. And we all understand that, because when you move authentically, anybody can shit talk. You can shit talk about anything all you want to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could do that for free. I could be on Facebook and I could talk about that for free. Okay. My boy Mark gave me a free platform to do that for live, whatever I want to do. I ain't got to pay. I had to put money into this. You think I'm going to pay all that money out of my pockets as a self-publisher, okay, to do all the work, to pay for all this, to be in that little cute black dress, to represent a Blque Sheep logo, to did you get on here to write 300 and some pages worth of shit talk? No, ma'am, no, sir. Okay, I'm doing this out of my pockets and doing it because of my love for what I do, for my gift, for my calling, and that's to reach people that need to hear my voice, that need to read my words, that need to be encouraged, that are going through the same thing, you know. So let's make that clear. And I'm also putting my stuff out to understand the psyche of us, and the makeups, because you don't know what you don't know, right? We moving through our world broken, but there's the origin, and the origin was at home for me. Okay, so I didn't recognize that. I was moving through the world subconsciously, repeating patterns, not in the evil type of way, but for me was chasing love. And what the definition of love was, I was mirroring what I saw at home, not really realizing that. So I talk about all that. I talk about my toxic relationships. I talked about when I got locked up behind one. Yes, your girl was I talk about all that. I bear no shame, about the things that I've endured. I talk about the love lost, of the codependency. All of that plays a tie in this. So know when you're reading my journal, this is memoir, my journal, to understand the reason why behind these stories. Okay. This is to show you that how we move, how we perceive the world, and how we move about in the world when you're coming from dynamics such as mine. And that's in anybody's case when you're dealing with narcissism. When you're dealing with narcissistic people, not just I'm talking about in the realm of parenthood, but there are people in domestic violence. All one and the same, just different people. You know what I'm saying? But it's all the same. So people that don't understand why people don't leave certain relationships, or and all this. Well, I just do this. Yeah, it's easier to say it when it ain't you. And when it's not you on the other end. So this is all ties in. It's all one and the same. Domestic violence, all of that. This is just the lines of parenthood, because with the difference between, it's all one and the same, but it's like same difference in a sense, because if it makes sense, when you're talking about battered relationships, like your domestic violence versus parenthood, being in abuse with your own parents, physically, mentally, and emotionally, you're gonna encourage the other person to leave, right? You're gonna encourage people to get the hell out of there, girl or man, like when it's somebody else. But we notice that when we're talking about our parents and our truth and what has happened to us, hey, I got knocked upside the head, I got punched in the face, I got my money stolen from me, all this type of stuff. My mama called me whores, blah, 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 this, all the above. What do we get in the end? You're met with, well, that's still your mom, that's still your dad, you only get one, but that's the difference. And this is also the purpose for this book. There is no difference. It does not matter who it is, mama, daddy, granny, uncle's cousin, Uncle Bob, Uncle Joe, Auntie Maureen, anybody. Okay, anybody. Abuse is abuse at the end of the day, and you do matter. What you say does matter. Your mind, your mental, all of that is important. And sometimes you got to go against fam. Blood ain't always thicker than water, and blood ain't always good. Okay, all right. So they're just family because of blood, but that don't make them family. Family is what you make it, right? So I talk about all of that. So when we're reading all this, and at the end, giving you tips on my journey, how I went about doing it, it looks different for everybody. Okay, but this is me putting my stuff out on Front Street. So yeah, I would love for people to give me feedback. Please write me. I'll make sure that you can reach me on Instagram. You can reach me on my email. That's Blque Sheep, BLQUE SHEEP @gmail.com. Again, that's BLQUE SHEEP @gmail.com. Y'all, they try to say it my Outlook. They be looking at me and saying, damn, am I really that millennial now? Am I now that I'm now that person now where they say, yo, you use Outlook? It's Outlook outdated, John, if you know that. Like, damn, I'm 37, I ain't hold on, but it let you know, golly. Anyway, so I was like, let me get a little Gmail then. Okay, I'm still gonna keep my Outlook, but you ain't gonna never get me outside like but yes, but for you, I can be reached on there on my social media platforms, however you wish. Please, while you're reading, if you're reading and you have questions or you want to just tone this, you want to talk to me about it, I'm an open book, y'all. Just like this book. This is me. My book is an open book of me. I bear no shame on nothing I've been through. Okay, because there's nothing that, like I said, nobody can tell my story like me. If you have questions, if you have anything you want to say, any good topics you want me to talk about, because this is going to be the basis for the podcast. I was supposed to start my podcast, but the Lord said, boo, what you doing, boo? You gotta do what I told you to do first. When I've been knocking at your door, you come up here with your little robe on, not following through what I say you're gonna do. This is what you need to do first, okay? Because this is the basis. This is the origin of the podcast, okay? So good topics for me to talk about. I can talk about the book even through that. I can talk about everything, because Blque Sheep, the podcast itself, is supposed to represent embracing standing out. Because in my case, like my standing out ain't always a bad thing. In order for me to break them nasty generational curses, somebody had to do it, right? Even if I had to go through hell and back, somebody had to do it. I had to stand out. So in my case, Blque Sheep is not a bad thing. There are a lot of things that people that can identify with being a Blque Sheep. It's supposed to be a term to count you out, like I said in my spoken word, but it's not necessarily always a bad thing. So that's Blque Sheep and this book is about turning our lemons and making lemonade. And that's just in life in general. Taking back our voice, reclaiming our power. It's the same thing with the podcast. So I want to let that be known that this is the origin of the podcast. So we can talk about this book. We can talk about all that. But, I'm going to be advocating mental health, all that. But overall, I'm going to have several different topics, embracing people in general, embracing your talents, embracing your story and how you got through and what you do now, because I want to be a light. I want to continue to push the message like I am in this book and like I did before the book, where you see my face on social media all the time, acting fool. That you can do all things. You can do anything. You can come from the ugliest of stories like mine, and you can turn out to be, you can still have a beautiful life for yourself, that you matter, that you play a part in this world. It's just about you realizing that you matter and how to get about doing that. Okay. And granting yourself grace along the way, because it's a process. It's still a process for me. We're forever in healing and growing, but the key is to get started. So this is what this is all about, guys. So like I said, if you have any questions, or you just want to talk to me about the book, or you some words you want to get, please. Like I said, I'm an open book, and I can use some of that for my podcast. Once again, my social media tag is Miss TT88. That's MISSSTT88. I'm also going to have this on my social media page. Anyway. You can reach me on there. You can reach me on Facebook. Once again, it's going back to millennial. That's old, but for y'all to still use Facebook, Tiffany Thompson, you can find me on there, or you can just email me. Like I said, BLQUESHEEP @gmail.com, and I'll be open to anything at all. Like I said, my book, as far as my book, we all know it's on Amazon, it's on Barnes and Noble. You can also purchase it on my website, and where you get to know me a little bit. For those who don't know me or want to know a little bit more about me, it's all on there. That's Blque Sheep.com, spelled the way it's spelled, BLQUESHEEP.com. You can go in there and purchase it. You can purchase it through Ingram Spark, but the easiest way for all of us, Amazon.com, or you can Barnes and Noble. And if you need help looking for it, come holler at you, girl. Okay? Because I can get you together. All right. We got people that we need to reach and touch. Okay. Once again, I'm looking forward to our continuous journey, because this is only up from here, baby. We're going to get this thing popping now that I obeyed the Lord and he done plucked me upside my head enough, and I got him. It's here. And now we can start the rest of our beautiful journey, as I continue to be a light to my beautiful herd. Okay. So get your little wool together. Okay. But cause I told you everything, but the one that was over our eyes, that's gone, baby. But everything else, get yourself fly, get yourself fluffy, baby. Cause okay, we shining over here. Okay. Blque Sheep, where? Right here. But not in the sense that the world wants to stamp us. Okay. But until then, I look forward to hearing from you guys. Read, please. If you know somebody that could use it, that need it, please pass it along, because that's what it's all about. You. The ones I needed to get to, please, Until then, stay encouraged, stay blessed. I love you all so much. Take care. And that wraps up our word for the herd for today. I love you all.